go forward.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. And today, well, is a very special video. It's probably one of my favorite topics to discuss in World War II reenacting, and that is how to do research. How to do research to learn more not only about the war, about the men who served during the war, but also do research to help improve your impression. Now, coming up in January, I am going to an event where I am the overall U.S. commander. Now, I hate portraying an officer. Before this, I didn't even own anything that I could wear for an officer impression. But I found myself as the overall U.S. commander for the event, so I'm portraying a first lieutenant. I didn't want to go high up the food chain, so I just went as a first lieutenant. And that is what I'm portraying. Now, in doing that, I don't know a whole lot about the officers aspect of World War II as far as what they did and the things that they had to study and go through when they were trained to be an officer. And some of these men were even gained battlefield promotions. So they didn't really learn a whole lot either, other than what they had to learn on the fly and what they could read real quick and then adjust and adapt to what they were doing. But generally, officers do have a lot of reading material they got to go through. They got to do reports. They got to, certain things they got to do. They got so many men up under their command. They have to know how to do certain things, and there's a certain system to doing everything. Well, that involved me starting to having to do some research. I was pressed into doing some research to be able to accurately portray a first lieutenant officer during World War II. As reenactors, we constantly are buying gear, constantly buying uniforms, equipment, weapons, whatever. We're constantly adding to our kit. But what about our impression? How we conduct ourselves of whoever or whatever we are portraying. And how do we learn how to do that better? Well, that involves researching for your impression. So that has involved in research and a lot of it. So I just want to do a short, quick video on some things that may help you in conducting research. What are some things you can read? What are some things you can look at? So, yeah, let's get into it. So, in that being said, I've been recently and right now, as we speak, doing a lot of reading. And one of the best sources of information that I have found to conduct research to help improve your impression is actually the original manuals themselves. The original things that these men were given and told to read to show them how to be a soldier, how to be an officer, how to conduct themselves, and how things should be done. And the best way to learn all of that is to go through the original manuals that they had to read themselves. This one is the 3rd edition, Pointers for Infantry Troop Leaders. And this was put out in May 19, 1942. Revised, it says, revised in accordance with FM 7-10 of June 2nd, 1942. And then it's got some more dates, but every date on here is 1942, regardless of what I'm blabbering on about here. But this is Pointers for Infantry Troop Leaders, the 3rd edition. And this, basically, if you open it up, it just tells you platoon is a rear army. It explains all kinds of things to you. Crossing water, formations, after action landings, security, rifle company defense combat. I mean, all kinds of neat little tidbits of information. And these are the actual things that these soldiers read during the war. You can't go wrong with that. This is probably your number one source of accurate information. Another item I've been diving into is the Company Officer's Handbook. And there you go. There's a look at the front cover here. And there's a lot of cool things in this manual, including equipment, how to form up, explosives, wearing of individual equipment. It actually tells you how the individual equipment is supposed to be worn. There are a few illustrations in here, not many, but this, here you go. Platoon wedges, how to move as a platoon in formations. Things like this is just a wealth of knowledge. Another item I've been reading, this is an original handbook, is this is a very cool book. This is the Officer's Guide. It was published by the Military Service Publishing Corps, if you can see it on the bottom of the bind here. And this is dated 1943. And this has several things in here. Orientation, uniforms and equipment, assumption of command, exercise of command, mess management, supply, the organization of staff and its functions, military courtesy, customs of the service, pay and allowances, appointment, leaves, absence, promotion, reclassification, retirement. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and this book even tells you, a lot of guys that, want to ask the question, well, how does, because I had it too, what are the measurements for my collar devices, for my cross rifles, my lieutenant bar? Where's that supposed to go on a shirt? Well, it's actually in this book. There's all kinds of things in here. I mean, it's even got all the patches from different units. This is aviation, the squadron insignia of aviation. So it has all the insignias in here on how to identify things. And then, there's just all kinds of stuff in here. It's got, uniforms and equipment or field service. Here you go. Like MP brassards, things like that. So all kinds of stuff in here. Now, another book that is wise for any World War II reenactor to pick up who is portraying an infantryman is this right here. The U.S. Army Infantryman Pocket Manual 41 to 45 for the ETO and MTO. MTO being the Mediterranean Theater of Operations, and the European Theater of Operations being your ETO. And this is probably one of the coolest books I have ever picked up and actually read. And I'm still reading it now, but it's got a lot of things in here. And it tells you how to maneuver up under fire, how to maneuver on taking you home. It's got all kinds of things in here. Let's see. There's one illustration I wanted to find. There it is. This is illustrating how you're supposed to move up to a home. So it's telling you exactly how to do that, where to lay, what to lay behind. And I mean, this is a wealth of knowledge. Very cool. And this brushes you up also on tactics, how you're supposed to maneuver, and how you're supposed to move as a squad, as a platoon, as whatever. These are your Bibles. I mean, you can't get any better than the original sources. Of course, this is a reproduction of an original source, but it's the same thing. It's the original source. And, it's pretty neat. And it's a lot cheaper than buying the original source as well. This one, I believe you can get this from World War II Museum's website right now. World War II Museum of New Orleans. You can visit their website. Their store should have this book on there. And it's not very much. I think it's like under $20. So, very cool book to pick up. Yeah, $16.95. So, there you go. Very neat book to pick up. Now, if you're also into reading a lot of first-hand accounts, those are very, very good to help with your impression as well, and research and to learn things. Books such as With the Old Breed, the E.B. Sledge. Eugene Sledge, is a lot of you guys know him from the famed series The Pacific. Too bad nobody, the book was recognized before then, but too bad, the book didn't stay as big as it did until that series came out. When we have a movie or TV series like Band of Brothers, all of a sudden there's a surge of people wanting to read about the Band of Brothers. I mean, that book soared through, off the shelves after that series come out. Well, same with the Old Breed. And then Helmet for My Pillow, Bob Leckie, I believe. You could pick that book up. This is one of my favorite books because I'm actually friends with a veteran who served in the 317th. And this is One Hell of a War, Patton's 317th Infantry during World War II. And these are good sources to tell you, about the battle accounts and what those units did. So this is a very good book, and I highly recommend this book too, by the way. One Hell of a War, Patton's 317th Infantry Regiment in World War II. And you can pause the video here and zoom in and take a look at that. Buy it for yourself off of Amazon, whatever. Another one of my favorite books, No Better Place to Die, talks about St. Mary Glees in June of 1944. This is a very, very good book. I love this book. It has a lot of first-hand accounts in here, a lot of information. It's just a very cool book to read and have. And then if you're doing German, of course, well, there's a lot of other books you can also get to help you with German impressions. But the number one source I recommend if you're doing German at all, German reenacting at all, is the Ryberg Field Manuals. This one's in German. You can also find one in American. Just Google it. You'll find it. But if you order these off of Amazon, you can pick the English version, but I don't guarantee they're going to send you the English version. Because I did, and they sent me the German version. But these are extremely, 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 extremely good for the German reenactor because this is almost like a Bible. I mean, this thing has everything about the weapons. As you can see here, it's got how to pack your tornister there. So if you have any questions about that, it's all there. How you should wear uniforms. Everything's in here. How insignia is supposed to put on. It's even got how your foot locker is supposed to, or your locker is supposed to be in, garrisons and trainings. And it's got how to conduct yourself. I mean, this has everything in here, including your ranking systems. It's got how to dig entrenched positions. I mean, this thing is a Bible. It is very, very cool to thumb through. And probably the single most valuable source of information for German World War II reenacting that I have found. Because this tells you how to be a German soldier, basically. So it's things like this that improve your impression, that can improve your knowledge, improve your research. If you're going to an event, per se, let's say you're going to an event that's centered around St. Mary-Glees. Okay, it's a St. Mary-Glees event. Well, this is an excellent book to buy and read or thumb through or whatever, but to actually go through here and read some of the things to give you a better understanding of how St. Mary-Glees was during the war and how the battle was and how it played out and some of the, information that the men who was actually there could portray. I mean, I've read things like, I use my lightweight gas mask bag to store K rations. There you go. That's a lot of information right there. That tells you it's 1944. He uses lightweight gas mask bag and store things such as rations, books, whatever extra crap he had that he wanted to put, with him. He was storing his lightweight gas mask bag, discarded the gas mask. There's a lot of questions answered right there in that one little sentence. So when you read, you find out the small details that help improve your impression and the big details. So keep that in mind. And this is ways you need to go about conducting your research and having an open mind when you're doing this. And just because one soldier didn't shave doesn't make it the norm. Let's get that out the way, because I have read accounts, well, I didn't shave for 3 days. Just because that soldier didn't shave didn't mean the other soldiers didn't shave. So you got to keep an open mind. You got to do a lot of research, a lot of reading, and these are all ways to help greatly improve your impression. And it's a lot of fun doing it. Honestly, it is. You learn so much. Online are great sources. You can find original copies of field manuals online. You don't have to buy them. They're free. All you got to do is do a little bit of work and digging through Google. And you will find all kinds of field manuals. And you can find them for almost anything you want, whether it's weapon related or an instruction manual or an infantryman's manual like one of these. I mean, you can find them online. You don't have to have this tangible original source, because let's get it, these things are hard to find sometimes and they can be expensive. But you can look online for a lot of these. Some you find online, some you may not. But a lot of them you can. And these are very cool to read through. And you can always print those off most of the time for through PDFs and have a tangible source that you can read from anywhere. So this is all great stuff. Great advice for you guys. Advice I have learned the hard way, honestly. Through reenacting, it's one of those things that as a reenactor, you blossom, is what I like to say. If you're a new reenactor starting out, yeah, you're probably going to look like crap, unless you got somebody really good helping you. And you grow. You just blossom into the reenactor that you want to be, and that hardcore reenactor, and that period accurate reenactor. It takes a lot of money, time, effort, research, but eventually you'll get there. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the little rant, the little ramble. Hopefully this helps someone out there. Helps open your eyes a little bit to some things. I don't know. Maybe this video was pointless. I really don't know, but either less, I enjoy making it. So with that being said, keep preserving history. Stay safe. We'll see you guys soon. And until next time, well, keep researching.